There is arguably no one in this world who has single-handedly destroyed more relationships in modern times than Mark Zuckerberg. Yes, you, watching this video right now. I guarantee someone you personally know has had their lives affected in negative ways by either Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, all of which are owned by this android-looking person pretending to be a human known as Zuckerberg. Sure, the explosion of social media networks onto billions of people's screens were exciting times initially, but it's been more than a decade since then, and now we've had a full 15 years worth of data to look at the devastation this man has unleashed upon us. And I'm not just talking about the amount of death by selfies or people who got themselves killed trying to take pictures for internet points either. The early excitement has given way to unavoidable and uncomfortable discourse around addiction, destroys relationships, broken marriages, paranoia, and, in extreme cases, even murder. Anyone who's seen the film The Social Network about the beginnings of Facebook and the resulting lawsuits all know that the world's largest ever social media site started with less than ethical beginnings. Serious question. Do you know how many destroyed relationships were a direct result of the usage of these applications? I can tell you the answer. It's literally in the hundreds of millions, since there are over 3 billion active Facebook and Instagram users worldwide. And that's not including WhatsApp user base either. For every single cute, wholesome animal video like this, there are way more couples breaking up due to social media like this. Although, I don't have any peer-proven studies to back this claim up, but I can absolutely guarantee you, combined, these apps have caused the extinction of way more relationships on planet Earth than anything else out there in existence. Just think of the hundreds of thousands of daily, pointless arguments and misunderstandings caused by the constant influx of notifications, requests, and updates, which, ironically, were advertised to bring you closer together with your loved ones. But in fact, it does exactly the opposite. In the past, if one person in a relationship wasn't able to instantly respond, that didn't mean they're angry or rude, but perhaps just busy, tired, or, asleep. Now, thanks to Zuckerberg's features, your phone now tries to imply in any way it can that you're actively doing something nefarious or ignoring the other person. It started innocently enough with read updates, but users now can see when regular contacts go online or offline with recently online statuses. Or how about prior to social media, previously a social gathering may make you protective about your partner, and maybe you'd put your arm around them if someone else was getting too close. And, in the worst case scenario, if you weren't feeling comfortable, you could just leave. Now, that's not even an option anymore. If you ask your partner or significant other to stop using social media to protect the relationship, now you are perceived to be insecure or possessive. But think about what is the literal purpose of these sites existing. It is for the sole purpose of the person who has a profile to get attention through a constant barrage of likes, reacts, and replies from other people who are not your significant other. Social media isn't trying to cultivate healthy socializing. It's algorithmically designed to get you to spend as much time on the app as humanly possible. What's the best way to get your attention? Take butt pics of yourself and upload it on your public profile. Then pretend like showing off your butt to random strangers online is a normal thing to do, of course. And what's the second best way of getting your attention? Manufacture drama, of course. Human brains did not evolve to constantly be beamed social information in the form of timestamps, numbers of likes, and unread messages. This is an overload, and it regularly wreaks havoc on relationships, which are becoming rarer and shorter. Which brings me to the stupidity of when a relationship isn't actually official, unless it's Facebook official or Instagram official. Now, it doesn't matter if you pay bills together, live together, sleep together, go to family outings together, do literally everything in real life together. That's not considered a real relationship unless you publicly proclaim it to the thousands of strangers on Instagram or Facebook. And this ends up encouraging people to live performatively. I mean, who can forget the infamous time when Jada Pinkett Smith forced Will Smith to participate in her Instagram live stream when he didn't want to be a part of it? With people pressured to share every enjoyable aspect of their life for more attention via likes and reactions, there is an increasing prioritizing of the public side of relationships. For example, you may enjoy your partner's company and have a great time with them for the sake of spending time with them. But hey, now it's common that one party will suddenly decide that ruining the romantic vibe and atmosphere for internet points is a great way to end the evening. Oh, what's this? You don't want me taking a photo of you right now and uploading it? Does that mean you're embarrassed of me? Is there someone you're talking to that I don't know about? What else are you hiding from me? Then, as you can see, something as innocent as spending some quality time with your partner or normal things like valuing your own privacy turns out to be another catalyst for pointless arguments. Why? because you committed the mortal offense of refusing to engage in public displays of posting, thus making someone feel rejected, paranoid, or worse. Having just spent the last 5 minutes telling you how terrible social media is, I'm now going to be a complete hypocrite and ask you to like and subscribe to this channel. I promise to not bring you any drama because I'm here to make money. I will use social media to make your life better, not for the worse. This problem is made even worse when one partner has hundreds of thousands of followers or friends. Relationships are hard enough with two people as it is, but the introduction of the audience online and constant competition for attention almost always results in the long-term destruction of a potential mutual and loving relationship. There are other negative consequences to your life thanks to Zuckerberg's apps.
And it was my mistake, and I'm sorry.
FOMO, fear of missing out, is one of the most common acronyms and is great evidence of the widely noticed disruptive impact social media is having on everyday people. Now, don't get me wrong. Missing out on an interesting opportunity to experience something novel and being disappointed about it is nothing new. But it has never been perfected to such exaggerated levels of fakery that the social media platforms algorithmically reward. Here's just an example of how amazingly fit you can pretend to look on Instagram versus the reality. Now we are being pictures of complete strangers who literally create highlighted reels of their lives regularly to fabricate the unrealistic perception that your life completely sucks compared to how awesome everyone else has it. Unless you are so rich that you can literally throw money out the window, then you're poor. Unless you get 100 likes in the first minute of uploading your butt photos, then you're ugly. Unless you live like a Saudi chic billionaire, then you're a loser. Instagram is by far the worst offender when it comes to creating unrealistic snapshots of other people's lives. The app is literally designed to keep users online for hours on end, building a fake mental image of how everyone else's life is better than yours. The result? An entire generation of people who end up with lack of feelings of self-worth and a distorted image of social inequality. And if that wasn't bad enough, personal safety and security online becomes literally a life or death issue in the offline world. Sometimes, even the most basic tech user can capitalize on modern technology to stalk someone naive enough to share their location on Facebook or Instagram. Who hasn't seen a post uploaded by an individual proudly geo-targeting their exact location at the time of the post? Well, did you know doing exactly that has resulted in stalkers finding their victims and murdering them? Zuckerberg's platforms are distorting the political as much as the personal. In the past, conflicting ideas both received some sort of exposure, which would force the individual to consider at least briefly both sides of an argument. But not anymore. Facebook and Instagram's algorithms are literally designed to create an echo chamber. If you dislike or choose not to engage with something for a period of time, then magically their algorithm doesn't show you it anymore, even though it may be true. This creates radicals, and that's why the politics all around the world has tilted to the very extreme on both sides. What had become fringe politics since the end of the Cold War is seeing a resurgence as people cut themselves off from diversified news sources, and instead are solely relying on whatever Zuckerberg decides should be the accepted opinion at the time, which then gets exclusively blasted all over their news feeds. Let's face it, people in our modern world don't really need to do anything hard in life anymore. Unlike generations before us who suffered through world wars, Great Depressions, and famines that resulted in literally hundreds of millions of people dying in the past, what's the biggest killer of modern citizens living in the West these days? Obesity. Yes, literally eating too much food is the #1 health problem in America and most of the West. Our lives are easier than ever, and because of that, people too are lazier than ever. But as humans, we still want to receive social recognition of some sort. But since we don't really want to work hard and actually achieve something, thanks to Zuckerberg, we can all now feel like we've done something truly worth patting ourselves on the back for. And anyone can do it in just a few short clicks through virtual signaling online. This is when you join useless hashtag campaigns or changing profile pictures into the shade of whatever country has a problem in support of whatever current thing is trendy at the time. Now, using Zuckerberg's apps, we can all get the same feel-good benefits of participating in grassroots movement, campaigns, demonstrations, and other real-life actions without even needing to get out of bed. Thus, ironically making the problem that needed to be solved even worse. Because according to the thousands of collected profiles with backgrounds of a flag supporting whatever cause, it must have already been solved, right? When in actual fact, literally nothing about the problem has been resolved whatsoever. Just as with the personal side of things, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp are specifically engineered to encourage feelings of reward for inconsequential political action, and this leads to alienation. The more time you spend on his platforms, the more time you waste. The more personal data about yourself you give up, and the more money Zuckerberg makes from you scrolling through advertisements. In fact, it helps his bottom line by encouraging you to return to his sites and search for those addictive hormonal dopamine hits again. And it's these dopamine hits inside your brain that he exploits. Dopamine, also known as the motivation hormone, acts as a reward center, and large amounts of it makes a person feel good. Prior to the advent of social media, you had to actually do something productive with your life in order to get a dopamine rush. But instead, thanks to Facebook or Instagram, a complete stranger or even a non-human bot can give you a like or a generic comment. And now you too will experience a dopamine hit as long as you can fake being skinny on camera for a few seconds at a time. Oh, why is this such a huge problem to society? The damaging implications of this motivation confusion are now painfully clear. Whereas people in the past would need to exercise, socialize, and create something of value to get their dopamine high before, now using Facebook or Instagram, and especially if you're a girl, you just need to post a butt pic and you'll get 100 likes and 30 comments in less than 5 minutes. But let's face it, posting butt pics online doesn't actually help your life in any meaningful way. So that temporary high you just received becomes short-lived, as it wasn't actually earned. So eventually reality sets in and you feel hollow inside, but you desperately want to feel good again. So what should you do? Post another butt photo, of course, but this time with even shorter shorts. Just like a drug addict who needs to constantly get the next high, you become a dopamine addict, requiring consistent attention to get self-gratification. The same applies to men as well, but obviously to a lesser extent because, let's face it, the Instagram algorithm has proven that no one wants to look at butt pics of an average guy because it causes
emotional damage.
Whilst making money from people's addictions is nothing new, it has never been done on such a wide scale and with such systemic sophistication and total social acceptance. If you regularly feel that you lack the motivation to exercise, socialize properly, and be creative, then chances are Instagram and Facebook plays a large part in that. People's brains are being conditioned to expect their dopamine hit for the smallest of hand movements, and doing much more to get it just doesn't feel like it's worth the effort. The literal fun out of life is being sucked out of existence with each pointless like and follow you engage in. In fact, did you know that the refresh function is based on the pulleys of slot machines in casinos? Gambling provided a great template for how to create an addicting apparatus, and so the pulley motion was taken from the casino floor and put at the top of your scroll feed. Worse still, with social media though, there is no minimum money requirement for anyone to really enforce their age limit or any other restrictions to access it. Plus, it's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and is almost always located within a hand reach's distance. The effects? Well, we've seen it firsthand. People addicted to these dopamine loops become mindlessly scrolling zombies for hours on end, as thousands of images of fake lives of other people constantly remind them of how bad their lives are, and in turn, they miss out on real life, doing actual exercising, socializing, and having any sort of long-term life ambitions. Zuckerberg isn't only encouraging you to get fat, feel lonely, and skip work, but is encouraging the same for everyone. This is an actual video of how happy Zuckerberg is when he ruins your life. If things are looking bad in the short term, then it will only continue to look bleaker and bleaker as the younger generation, with no idea at all what the long-term consequences are sucked down into the same addictive hole. When Zuckerberg shot onto the scene 20 years ago, it was obvious he was changing the world, but we had no idea how. Now, even if you can't quite articulate all of the negative impacts he's had on your life, you can definitely feel them. I'm sure you've personally been involved in a stupid argument with a love interest over a misunderstanding that started on Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp. And if you haven't, someone you know definitely has. Even if you're one of the few who've stayed clear of social media, the society around you is becoming sadder, less productive, and less healthy. Mark Zuckerberg is literally ruining your life.